Hello, and welcome to this first Liber AI Pulse webinar. My name is Sara Kjellberg, and I am the chair of Liber AI Taskforce. Together with some of the others in our group, I will host this webinar today. And it's really fantastic to see that so many have joined us in this kickoff meeting. Today is not just presenting what the AI Task Force is doing, it is also about listening to you. For libraries, AI is about information, infrastructure, trust, collections, ethics, and our long-term societal role. And that is why we believe this conversation belongs very much within Liber. And we have challenged ourselves with the format. We have only 30 minutes together. We will use polls and ask you questions, and the comments that you share today, we will use for the next steps and the future direction of AI work in Liber. So this is a working session with you, and there is still a lot of things to figure out together. And before we begin, just a few practical points. The webinar is being recorded, like you saw when you entered. And like I said, we will use polls and the chat throughout the session to interact. So by that said, I think we should start, and I will hand over to Greete for our first poll.
To kick this webinar off and to get a general understanding of the situation in the network, we would like you to describe your institution's current work on AI. It is a multiple choice question, as you perhaps have seen, so please choose all the options that do apply to your institution. And also, please to use the chat here on the right. As Sara said, we will collect the information both from the poll and from the chat, and we will use that as input for the task force work. And I see here very nicely some lines already forming that the numbers are moving so nicely and so quickly, and it seems that most of the network has not only scanned the environment or the world of AI, but also have created some pilot projects already. And especially those people who have also some pilot projects that they want to share with the larger European network, can also drop some info in the chat. I see there are a lot of different areas from Europe covered there, so it would be nice to see what is happening around. Okay, this is okay that those pilots are not. There was a comment that we have done lots of pilots, but not scaled them up to implementation, and I think this is okay and understandable in this current world and how quickly AI and machine learning is moving on. So even those kind of projects, I think, are useful for the network. Okay, I think that now maybe, Sara, we can continue, as I see that the chat is slowly. Oh, nice. Keep on working, but Sara can continue with the task force.
Perfect, thank you. We will not be able to answer questions directly with hands in the air. So if you have something you want to say, do in the chat and we will try to find out how to answer you. I will briefly explain what the AI Task Force is and how it started. The Task Force exists to strengthen Libra's strategic approach to AI and to support research libraries in navigating this rapidly evolving landscape, not just reactively, but proactively. And it was recognized that AI presents both tremendous opportunities and significant challenges, and that while there were starting points within the current Libra strategy, there was no coherent, coordinated approach to AI as such. So AI introduces often what are called wicked problems, issues that are deeply interconnected, ethically charged, and resistant to simple solutions. And these are questions that cannot be solved within one working group or through one policy document. In addition, it's important contribution of libraries lying in supporting informed and reflective use of AI rather than uncritical adoption, while upholding our core values of transparency, reliability, and responsibility. For that reason, the Taskforce was launched and established to respond to this need of coordinating AI. And we first met at the annual conference in Lausanne in July last year. The Taskforce works alongside the Libre steering committees with a longer-term vision to ensure that AI also is meaningfully embedded in the next Libre strategy beyond 2027. To make this a coordinated effort rather than a set of isolated initiatives, the Taskforce collaborates closely with Libre working groups and with Libre Quarterly. So, as you can see on this slide, our work can be summarized in three interconnected ambitions. First, fostering collaboration both within Libre and European and global levels. This means ensuring that research libraries have a coordinated and visible voice in broader AI discussions. Second, partnering, working closely with Libre members and collaborating, like today, with you and other organizations on AI-related matters. We see this as essential because these questions cannot be addressed in isolation. And third, connecting and integrating existing and new AI initiatives across Libre working groups. There is already a lot happening, and our role is to align, strengthen, and bring a strategic layer to that work. So in short, we are here to connect, coordinate, and help move from scattered activities to a more coherent approach. And with that said, I would like Alex to ask you the next question we have for you.
Thanks, Sara. That's right. I think we would like to know what's your biggest challenge and maybe what's behind your challenge. So the question, what is currently the biggest challenge facing your institution in your AI work? So that poll should now be open and should be ready for your responses. If you're able to provide any detail of those challenges in the chat, we can go through what people are mentioning their biggest obstacles are at the moment. And we can see already a number of responses coming on through. Difficult to distinguish from the hype from the relevant developments. I think that's a big one that's hitting lots of people at the moment. The lack of internal coordination, again, that resonates with what Sara has just said about the purpose of the task force, which is great. And I think all of the options there are getting quite a lot of responses, which is really interesting. It shows how many challenges AI is throwing at libraries these days. And just looking over to the chat, and we've still got comments coming in through there about OCR and text recognition and things, and that's great. The biggest challenge is waiting for our legal department to formulate a formal policy yet. I understand, Scott, and that resonates with us. I think some of the challenges in the legal landscape are really, really complicated. And yeah, the lawyers are normally conservative at the best of times, aren't they? Ethical doubts, yeah, absolutely. impact on student success and developments? Yep, absolutely. Commercial solutions, yeah, really challenging. The cost of some of these AI tools that we're deploying within our institutions are extremely high. The costs of some vendor AI tools that we're seeing in the content marketplace are astronomical in some instances. The different disciplines have different views. Yeah, absolutely. So some of those challenges around the arts and humanities versus the STEM disciplines, yeah, really challenging. And lots of students wanting to dive in without asking questions. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. People are using it, getting caught up in that hype and using it without necessarily thinking through the full implications or not necessarily aware of those full implications. Lack of funding, yeah, definitely. Paywall fears, the power of big tech, yeah, absolutely. Coming back to the poll then, so the one the top one there, as we can see on the screen, is that difficulty to distinguish the hype from the relevant developments, lack of internal coordination, infrastructure and technical limitations, and priorities and strategies. Yeah, that's really interesting. And maybe that's something where the task force can help and LIBA can help coordinate some strategic approaches. Yeah, brilliant. I think that's really great. I think, if you do come up with any other challenges through the course of the session today, please do keep adding them into the chat and we'll use those to inform the work of the task force going forward. And then one more just coming in, researchers are more hesitant to publish open access. How can we convince everyone that open is as important and possible as ever? Hilda, what a fantastic question. Really great issue. And I think we're certainly seeing that across the networks. Sara, ready to hand back over to you, I think.
Yes, not me, but Karin will take over from here. So I will switch to Karin.
Thank you. As Sara mentioned, the task force is built on the working groups already existing within LIBER, and this has shaped how the AI task force has been set up. You can take the next. This is who we are, around 2 representatives from each of the working groups, as well as from the LIBER quarterly. Since the summer, we have met once a month to coordinate the work going forward. We have developed a work plan for the next 2 years, which I will return to. The initial effort during the autumn of 2025 focused on orientation and on identifying activities for a first version of the plan, aimed at supporting both the strategic mission and the operational conditions for the work of the working groups. One thing we noticed almost immediately once the task force started meeting was the need for LIBER to contribute more actively and in a more coordinated way to ongoing consultations and policy discussions. During the autumn, we began collecting feedback and input to support consultations and decision-making processes. This included, for example, providing feedback on the data union strategy, responding to the open consultation on the European Research Area Act, and contributing to discussions on generative AI and copyright. Another important role has been sharing calls to actions within the community, for instance, gathering examples that demonstrate the critical role of text and data mining, exceptions in enabling research, innovation, and scientific progress, particularly in support of the European Alliance for Research Excellence. So, from early on, we have seen that the task force could serve not only as a space for reflection and coordination, but also as a mechanism for amplifying the research library voice in European discussions on AI. Our initial efforts have focused a great deal on orientation and identifying priority areas, aligning both with Liber's strategic mission and with the operational needs of the working groups. Even before the task force was formally established, the working groups had begun identifying AI-related topics within their areas. There is a lot going on in the working groups, for example, around copyright issues. These activities can also be shared across working groups. Other examples of activities concern different aspects of AI literacy and AI applications. The work plan we have produced is dynamic and continues to evolve. It is being further developed through the ongoing dialogue between the task force and the working groups, helping us define key themes and shared priorities moving forward. However, we would also like to take the opportunity to ask you something related to this, and I will hand over to you, Greete.
Thank you. Now we have presented here some of our plans and ideas, and we have already collected some very interesting input from the chat, where we have talked, or the issues of ethics, policy, bot attacks that, go to the breach that some memory institutions are redefining what they consider to be a DDoS and what is just, another day in the office. And also I see that a lot of AI-related endeavors in the network are in the field of HDR and OCR work, also VR, different apps and computer vision, chatbots, and also interesting points of text and data mining, and in the context of research versus commercial use have been raised in the chat. So now in the light of all of this, what we have discussed here today, we would like to know what would you like to learn more in that context or in that area, or some additional points in the field of AI and machine learning. And so again, just please go into the chat area of our team's Zoom call here and just expand your ideas there. Safe and ethical use of AI agents. This agentic governments and all this field is also maybe even as popular as text and data mining as a topic in the world of AI. How to collaboratively learn to protect ourselves against unwanted AI harvesting. How to temper expectations of what AI can do. Very different understandings across organization. Safe and ethical use of custom GPTs. Again, AI ethics. As a research memory institutions, that is something that is of integral importance for our work. The technical expectation of how AI works internally. We cannot help if we don't really know how it works. AI literacy, best practices, workflows used in library organization, use of more specific software developed for research and library work, and not focus on commercialized chatbots and chat agents. I would be interested in hearing more from practical projects and what they have accomplished. Yes. AI and sensitive data, AI strategies. Will protection of data privacy be settled one day? That is a very good question. approaches to managing risk in the use and development of AI tools, both in-house and commercial. Nice. Assessing the quality and usefulness of AI-driven search tools. Yes. What threats have libraries already seen taking place which hits the library, budget staffing, increased work, etc.? Yeah, it's very nice. A lot of input coming in. So maybe we can also share the second question. So we can also, some of the comments in the chat already are sort of detailed, but maybe others can also describe a little bit more in detail what would you expect or how would you like to collaborate and contribute, and in what form would be the most useful to achieve the goals we have, or the problems we have, or the use cases that you have displayed here in the chat. AI terms in license agreement, how to negotiate. Yes. Pilot projects that have failed, that is one of my favorite category ever. That is what drives the innovation. I'm not sure about the environmental impact. It is an issue for sure. Does it stop or hinder us though? That is a very good question. Interactive workshops, that's nice. That's encouraging for us. Ideas sharing, license financing. Yeah. Short online meetings on specific topics. That's also very encouraging. Thank you. Most AI models were trained on scraped in copyright material. What does that mean for legal deposits and other libraries? I think that is something that we tackle everywhere. All the suggestions plus set up a knowledge base. Could we also create a list of who is doing what so we can reach out to colleagues with questions? That is a very good idea. Case study presentation, workshops, short meetings on specific topics. Yes. Tracking the yearly LIBER conference. More spotlight visibility on open source available AI resources that we can use. This is as important as sharing of ideas and projects, what we are doing. A survey and report out of stages of AI adoption and use cases. This is also very, very nice idea. Okay, I see the comments are coming in nicely again, and thank you very much for such a engaging webinar. And now I will give back to you, Sara. You can please keep posting into the chat your ideas, your questions, or your problems. This will be open until the end of the webinar, I believe, and we can take it up from there.
Yes, thank you, Greete. It's really amazing to see everything that you share, and also from the polls that we can see some kind of patterns. And this was exactly what we wanted to do with you, to understand a little bit more about what are the hurdles that you are thinking about, and the questions that we might be able to discuss and collaborate on in a different matter within LIBER, since we have this wonderful member organization with so many people in it, with experts in different fields. It will be possible to take this further on, and I think we can see already that we will continue to work with this in the AI task force, and also connected to the working group topics and work plans, because there are connections also between working groups different topics might be something shared between the Open Access Working Group and the Copyright and Legal Matters Group, for example. So we have set up this webinar series also to be able to give short briefs about different topics that you also mentioned now during this webinar. And I will I think I will ask just Mia to say something about the next upcoming webinar in this series.
Thank you, Sara, and thank you everyone for your incredible engagement in the chat. It's been brilliant to see so many comments and questions coming in. The next seminar is also on the last Friday of the month. It's from the Digital Scholarship and Digital Cultural Heritage Working Group, and topics will probably include some highlights from the AI for LAM Fantastic Futures Conference, which the British Library held with AI for LAM in December 2025, an update from Cambridge, where they have an incredible AI for Cultural Heritage hub and project, some discussion around big tech versus library values, and it's been interesting to see that in the chat so far, and then perhaps some more work on defining common problems. And yes, just thank you, everyone. We're looking forward to seeing you at the next one. And please it's been an incredible listening exercise for us, hearing your comments, what you think the urgent problems are, how we might be able to collaborate, the kinds of activities that you'd find useful. So thank you, everyone.
And, oh, sorry. Yeah, I had my mic on. I couldn't find the thing on the screen. So like we have now mentioned several times, there will be more webinars during this spring, and we hopefully will continue post-summer also. And during the annual conference, there will be a workshop with room for those that are interested in doing a future scanning or futures looking into what can we do for the next strategic part of LIBOR and AI work. So I encourage you all to look into the program of the annual conference also and come and join us for that workshop. And it's been like we have said now, it's really wonderful that you interacted with us in this way, and we can really see the engagement in this area. And we will try to find ways further on to keep on this kind of activity with you. So we haven't been able to answer any questions directly to you today, but if you have ideas or questions for us, please contact us. You're very welcome to contact me as the chair or Karin as co-chair for the AI Task Force. And also thank you to the whole AI Task Force who's been here today, and Greete Veesalu and Alex Fenlon and Karin Rydving, who did the presentations together with me. And I hope you all will have a wonderful weekend now. And we made it. It is 1 o'clock now. We made it with 30 minutes to do this together with you. Thank you.